Hello and welcome back to Crypto Nerd. My name is AJ, here to bring you this cryptocurrency video. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the price of Bitcoin, which is right now having a slight pullback in its price, and we're going to be looking at my potential Bitcoin trade. We're also going to be taking a look at the price of Ethereum. So if that sounds interesting to you, then please smash a like, subscribe and share this video so we can grow this channel together. I do enjoy making these videos for you, and it does take me a lot of time and effort to make these videos for you, so I would really appreciate it if you could just give it a like and subscribe to the channel. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the charts. Jumping straight in onto the Bitcoin charts then, on the 1 hourly then, you can see that Bitcoin is having a slight pullback today, and we have broken below our very important white support level when we are above it, and it is resistance when we are below it. So you can see back here that we did have lots of support along this level when we were above it, and we were bouncing off this level when we did find support. As you can see here, lots of support, and we did just bounce off this level. Yesterday we also found support on this level after breaking above it, and we did bounce off that level after retesting it. However, today we have broken below that level again, and in fact this is the first time that we haven't respected this level when we have broken below it. You can see that we did break below it, this candle here, you can see, and then we did see the price of Bitcoin actually break up again and then break down. So that's the first time we've seen Bitcoin actually not respect this white line, and right now it is going to use this white line as resistance. As you can see back in these points here, that when Bitcoin is below it, we did use it as resistance, and when Bitcoin goes for that initial first retest of the level, you can see that Bitcoin does in fact get a rejection at those levels, and then we do go for that second retest of the level, and Bitcoin usually does break back above it, and you can see all the way back here we've had more resistance here. So it is a very important level we need to look out for right now. So right now, in the short term, we are sort of bearish because we are below this very important white line, and we could potentially see Bitcoin actually reverse and come and retest this white resistance level, and we could see either a rejection or we could see Bitcoin actually break back above this level. However, I have in fact found another pattern on the hourly chart. So if I just get rid of all this, we can draw this new pattern which I found on the charts. So this pattern is in fact it's a debatable pattern. It's either a descending channel or a descending wedge, and I would in fact actually class this as a wedge, as a descending wedge, because it sort of broadens out towards the bottom, making it a descending wedge. So if I draw this out for you here, you can see that the bottom of this here is the bottom of the falling wedge, and you see the top here is the top of the falling wedge, and Bitcoin has found some nice support along this yellow line along here, and you can see right now Bitcoin is coming towards the bottom of this line. We are sort of in the middle right now. I don't really expect to see Bitcoin coming all the way down to this yellow line, but it is just a possibility. We could also see the price of Bitcoin actually reverse and come and test the top of the falling wedge, and we do have to counter in this very important white support and resistance level, which is going to act as resistance right now. So we could see Bitcoin come up and actually test the white line and the blue line at the same point here, which could be a possibility, and it would be very, very bullish for Bitcoin if we were to see that break up there of both of these resistance points, and if we were to break to the upside, because ultimately this is a very bullish pattern, we could see a target all the way at the top of the wedge, which is at $59,500. So that would be a nice move for Bitcoin, and I will in fact be trading this because it is going to be a very, very big move for Bitcoin in my opinion, because I think that if we do break up out of this, we could go even higher above the target because of another pattern I have found in the charts, and I will be showing you that in a second. However, right now we could see the price of Bitcoin actually come all the way down to the bottom of the falling wedge and hopefully find support. But there is also a possibility that we could just have a reversal and come and test the top of the falling wedge. So taking a look at this other pattern I've found, which is actually breaking down right now. However, we do still have approximately 3 hours and 40 minutes for this candle to reverse to the upside, and this is in fact a rising wedge on the 4-hour chart. So you can see the top of the rising wedge up here and the bottom down here as a yellow line, the top's a blue line, and along here we are seeing support on the blue line, and we have been getting those rejections. However, at the bottom we have found lots of support and we have been bouncing on these levels, and right now we are testing the breakdown. I don't expect Bitcoin to break down, but it is a possibility that we could see Bitcoin break down, and it could take Bitcoin all the way down to 50k if we were to break down out of this. I would like to see Bitcoin actually bounce off this level, but we are in fact we are seeing some price action to the downside at the moment. If we were to break up out of this rising wedge, we could see Bitcoin all the way back up at new all-time highs at $65,500, and this is a very, very bullish pattern for Bitcoin if we were to break to the upside. So that is what I'm hoping for, and there is in fact another sort of pattern in this chart, which is in fact this W pattern that you can see here. So right now it does look like Bitcoin wants to actually form this W pattern if we can get a bounce off this yellow line and then form the right hand side of the W pattern, something like this. And it would be very, very bullish news. And if we were to break the top of the W here at that $57,800 level approximately, then we could see Bitcoin actually pump all the way up to the top of the resistance at the top of the wedge and in fact break up out of this. However, we do need to get that 4-hourly close above this yellow line to sort of see that pattern play out, because if we don't get that 4-hourly close above this yellow line, it means we have broken down out of this rising wedge, and the price target would be down all the way down at 50k, which isn't very bullish news for Bitcoin at all. We want to see the price of Bitcoin pump to the upside, seeing those all-time highs again, like we are with Ethereum. Almost every day with Ethereum we have seen all-time highs, which has been very, very bullish news. So ultimately, if we do come all the way down to the bottom of here, then it will mean that we will most likely see a breakdown out of here. But I do want to see the price of Bitcoin actually break up out of here, and this is going to be my next long position on Bitcoin if we do break up out of this resistance level, this white line here, and this blue resistance at the top of the falling wedge. I just want to show you a trade that I gave you yesterday over on Twitter and in the video, which was in fact this symmetrical triangle. As you can see here, the blue line as the resistance and the yellow line as the support, and you can see that Bitcoin did break to the upside, and I did in fact put a long position in at this point, and we did in fact see Bitcoin come for the initial retest, and at the retest, that is when I put my trade in. I think it was around here at these levels of $56,100 approximately, when we got that hourly close of the bounce off the support level, which was the previous resistance at the top of the symmetrical triangle, and the target was all the way up at $57,700, and in fact we did hit that price target perfectly, as you can see, and I did in fact close this trade all the way up here because we were seeing warning signs, and I've been telling you this with all my trades, you need to be looking out for the warning signs, and you can see here Bitcoin was getting very overbought, as you can see on the RSI, the Stoch and the Stoch RSI. Bitcoin just was looking very, very oversold, so I did in fact close my trade, especially because it's on the 15 minute. and it's a lot more volatile on the 15-minute there with these patterns. You can see a lot more movement than you do see on the bigger time frames. So that is why I took all my profit out of that trade, and you can see that the warning signs I did spot were in fact warning signs, because you can see that the price of Bitcoin has dropped all the way below my entry point, which was around that $56,100 level. So that's the trade that I gave you yesterday, and congratulations if you took this trade with me, because it was a successful trade, a small trade but successful at the same time. Taking a look at the daily then, you can see that Bitcoin is still trying to form this second shoulder on the right here. This is the head and shoulders pattern I've been showing you for a while now, and Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin is still trying to form that shoulder. If we do form this shoulder, it means that this is a complete head and shoulders pattern. I'm not saying that if it does form this shoulder that we are going to see the price target all the way down at that approximately $51,000 level, but it is just a possibility if we were to break down out of this neckline. There is also a very high possibility that we could bounce off this support level, because we have found lots of support along this level, and that would be very, very bullish if we were to get a bounce off this level. So if we do come all the way down to the neckline, it doesn't mean that we are going to see a breakdown. It just means there's a possibility of a breakdown. But yeah, as I said, we can always get that bounce, and that bounce would actually be very, very good news for Bitcoin, because then we could start making our way back up to the top of the megaphone pattern, which is what we really, really want right now, because that will start taking us up to that 70k level all the way up here, and we do want to see Bitcoin hit new all-time highs above that $65,000 level. But as you can see, that head and shoulders pattern is forming, that second shoulder is forming, and we are below our VPVR level, this red line along here. There is also a possibility that we can see just Bitcoin make a move to the upside, to the top of the pattern, but right now it does look like Bitcoin just wants to form that second shoulder. So it is something we need to keep in mind, because if we do form this shoulder, then there is a possibility that we could see a big dump in the price of Bitcoin all the way down to $51,000. But if we were to come down here, I wouldn't expect Bitcoin to go down all the way down to 30k again. I would expect a bounce, but again, it's not 100% that we are going to form the second shoulder. We are in that consolidation phase at the moment. You can see Bitcoin right here is just consolidating, trading sideways. As you can see on this chart right here, we have just been following this white line for a long time now, and there's got to be a big Bitcoin move in the near-come future, because we have been consolidating for quite a while now. So then, this falling wedge on the hourly chart then is going to be my next trade. If we do break to the upside, I will be putting in a long position. Taking a look again at this rising wedge on the 4 hour, I probably won't be trading this if we do break to the downside, because I'm not bearish on Bitcoin. I don't really expect to see Bitcoin come all the way down to them $50,000 levels. There is a possibility, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see it. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin at the moment. In the short term, slightly bearish, because we are ultimately below our white support level, but once we get back above it, then it is good news, and I will be putting in that long position if we do break to the upside here, and I will be keeping you updated if I do put this trade in over on Twitter. So make sure you give my Twitter a follow, links in the description if you want to follow me on my next trade. I was literally just about to move on to Ethereum, however I did have a quick look on the 2 hour charts, and I have in fact found this rising channel on the 2 hour Bitcoin charts, and you can see that Bitcoin is finding nice support at the bottom of the channel along here, and you can see some resistance at the top of the channel all the way up here. So this is a pattern for Bitcoin, and you can see the bottom of the channel is sat around $54,000, and that is a possibility. It would be $1,000 move from here, so that is a possibility for Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be bothered if we were to see Bitcoin come down to this $54,000 level and hopefully bounce off this level. That would be good news for Bitcoin, because then we can start making our way back up to the top of the rising channel. So ultimately, I don't mind if we do come down to that $54,000 level, as long as we do bounce off that level. So I will be keeping you updated over on Twitter about this, and I am going to post this on Twitter for you right now. Moving swiftly on to the price of Ethereum then, which has reached new all-time highs again at just under $4,400, which is extremely bullish news for Ethereum. We are trading very bullishly on Ethereum right now. And it is very good news. Ethereum is just doing very, very well at the moment, and right now we are seeing a slight pullback, which is expected. You can see back here after this pump, we did have a small pullback before another pump, and an even bigger pullback, and we've had an even bigger pump to the upside. So I wouldn't be worried if we do see an even bigger pullback than we did these two times, because the pumps and the dumps seem to be getting bigger. So I'm not too worried if we do see a bigger dump to the downside. Hopefully not below this previous low here or this previous low here. It would be nice if Ethereum could make some higher lows, because it is right now making higher highs, and that is very bullish if we are making those higher highs and higher lows. And I did spot this M pattern in the price of Ethereum, and the target has in fact hit perfectly at approximately $4,100. Not a very tradable pattern, but it just gave me an understanding of where the price of Ethereum was going to go. We could, as I say, see more price action to the downside, but I hope not below this previous low here, because again we will be making them higher highs and those lower lows, which is extremely bullish news for Ethereum. That will be all for today's video then. If you enjoyed, please smash the like button, share this video, get it out to as many people as possible so we can grow this channel together. It'll be much appreciated, because I do put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and I do enjoy making them for you. Thank you very much.